the Rider's Life. I know everybody thinks I fell off the face of the earth, but last week I was sick. I was sick all week. I don't know what it was, but like you couldn't sleep because like there was like a lizard chewing at the back of my throat. I was running a fever, and then like the inside of my brains were coming out, and like it was just awful. And then I had to do I had a dentist appointment on Wednesday. I had to do blood work on Thursday, and then
you were sick.
Luckily during the day it wasn't so bad. It was at nighttime, and then what I had Friday I had PT for my back. Monday I had my a doctor's appointment, and then I have to do that Rituxan crap for 2 hours, and then Tuesday I had off. So, I mean, we're using that just to get some work done. And then yesterday I had PT again. And so now I'm back. And so I'm with, of course, don't forget, by the way, subscribe and all that stuff. I got Troy, Silence of the Lambs, Lambert here with us. Man, maybe I've been busy, but you've been crazy busy. Where have you been?
So like the last few weeks. So here's how my life happened the last few weeks. So we were supposed to close on our house like earlier, and we ended up closing on this house that we bought on Friday. So I had the house for exactly 3 days, and then had to go lead a writing retreat in Tahoe, which was great and very relaxing if I hadn't been thinking about my,
your house,
the fact that my house was sitting there. And my partner Holly went with me because she was our chef for the retreat. So nobody was at the house getting anything done. So because we're both gone. Then I came back. I had literally a week to get the house painted and prepped. And then I went to Vegas for Author Nation.
Wow.
And then, so it was in Vegas all week. And then, which the vendor day, the whole thing was actually really amazing, but it was extremely exhausting. And then I came back on that Saturday. Then I was sick. So I had probably the same stuff you had. It felt like my brains were coming out of my head. And I was
awful.
So sick. I didn't have much of a sore throat, but no, I was like everything else that you were describing. I was like, and it was like that all day. So finally kind of got over that and started feeling better on Wednesday. And here we are, it's Thursday. And I'm like, it was crazy. And of course, in the middle of all that, at Reader Nation on Friday, we launched our Kickstarter. And that was a great event. Yes, Kickstarter link below. Please back our Kickstarter so we can do the easy thing that we've set our brains to doing.
There's a lot of good stuff there, you guys.
There's a lot of good stuff. Be great. And if here's the thing. There's probably not another Kickstarter out there where you're going to get a hardcover every 6 weeks if you do your if you plan things correctly or whatever. You back at that level. It's pretty amazing, and it's actually very affordable. The whole thing is very affordable for what you're going to get. But anyway, so we launched that. But Reader Nation this year was amazing. A lot of those events in the past, where it's an author signing, but it's after a conference, is a bunch of writers talking to each other. You know, and that's not great. Just in case anybody's ever been. I mean, it's like kind of like selling ice to an Eskimo. He's got his own books, and he's got tons of his friends that are giving him books, and and yes, put that True Pulp nice and prominent up there. Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Doesn't that look good?
Good spot for it. Oh yeah, my new office, it's actually just going to be amazing. But anyway, I was looking at setting up some of the stuff today. But anyway, but it was actually an amazing event because the organizers recruited readers to come. And so there were a lot of actual just readers shopping around for books. So it was pretty amazing. Good. Like
I'm going to try to make that next year.
Yeah, I've not had an event like that. Well, yeah, and you got to join us in Tahoe next year too. We've already got a couple things going on, and we have.
Tell me how the Tahoe works.
I
already have an idea how Reader Nation works because I've been to a million things like it. But
Yeah.
How does Tahoe work? It sounds great.
So essentially what it is, it's a writer's retreat. It's this next year will be for 4 days, essentially. Although, and then the last day is kind of, technically it's 5 days, but the last day is get out, go home, have breakfast and go home. But we don't want to kick everybody out on Saturday night and have it be like, it's Tahoe, it's cold, good luck. But basically, so the house that we have there is called Fieldheim. That's the name of the writer's retreat, the name of the house. And my friend's dad built it. And then, he inherited it from his dad. Well, it is, you can sleep 18 to 19 people in this house. It's huge.
Wow. I saw.
But it's also this beautiful Norwegian mountain house with a hot tub and with just spectacular views. I mean, it would be hard to pick a better place for a writing retreat. And you want to go for a hike and go walk in nature, you're right there.
It looks suspiciously like the Wolf Slayer, I have to tell you. Yes, I'm going to have a writing retreat now.
I will. Yeah. I'll have to tell Nick that you said that.
Yeah. I was like, all right. I was like, they're playing a lot of Wagner and stuff,
Yeah, exactly. No problem. But yeah, I mean, it's there's a pool table downstairs. Like I say, my partner Holly was for us, and of course, the coffee snob. I made the coffee every day. Yeah. So if you want, high class coffee, you come there. Right. But anyway, but next year also we're gonna have a couple of like I don't know, keynote people that are going to talk about things like writer's block and burnout. So we're going to have Becca Simon, Roland Denzel are going to be there with us. So there'll be elements of because I don't know if you've never met Becca Simon. I
have not.
Hang on. She is she's like a therapist for writers. She's a Clifton Strengths. She's a Clifton Strength Finders coach, and once she knows your Clifton Strengths, she's just can tell everything that's happening with you, and it explains so much. If you're an author and you take that test, and then you talk to Becca, it explains so much about why you do the things you do and why your writer's life is the way it is. It's really cool.
Right.
But she talks a lot about burnout and things you should quit things and stuff like that. So I'm like. Because we do.
Now,
we all do too much.
Is this like a singles thing, or hookups?
Well, I'm not gonna hook you up, Vince, unless there's a nearby badger. He's got two modes: pissed off and really angry. So really similar to your ex-wives, probably. So
I prefer beaver, but badger would be good.
Whatever. But so. So it's not necessarily for singles. I mean, obviously Holly and I are going together. But the thing about it is that because of the way the writer's retreat works, we have to charge by the bed, right? If your spouse wants to come, I mean, we still have to charge them something. They're not getting the writing retreat, but they're staying in Tahoe at this place. So we're still figuring out exactly what that rate's going to look like if we have people that just want to bring a +1, but they don't want to do the writer's retreat, because we're like, well, you're taking a writer's slot though. Because what we found out this year was it was good to know how everything worked, how everything laid out for our first year, but we also found out how much it costs to actually put it on. So, we have to, next year we have to go, we really have to charge for it appropriately. So
I'm thinking, but I'm thinking for our Bookblast Kickstarter, could you have a stretch goal that someone, if they pay enough, they get a spot? But it's limited. But it's limited to 1 or 2 or something like that.
Yeah, we could have something like that. I mean, we'd have to. I mean, the retreat itself is about $3,000 is what it's going to cost per person.
Right. But if someone's willing to pay it, I guess. Yeah.
But I mean, the truth is, this place normally, if my friend wasn't the owner and manager of it, normally it would cost $1,500 a night to rent this place. I mean, so it's not like it's and it anyway, it's gorgeous. So it's like, it's worth it. And we're right in line with what other writing retreat charges are similar. You know, they're doing similar things. So, I mean, it would have to be a big, that would be kind of a big ask of like, yeah, you pledged $3,000 to our Bookblast Kickstarter and I'll hook you up, you know. But yeah, that would be it'd be kind of like when we had the limited edition True Pulps. Like there were a limited number of those hardcovers that had everybody's signature, you know, because those are just hard to get. So, you know, they're worth a lot of money. So, so yeah, I mean, but that'd be something that we could do. That would be interesting, actually. We should throw on a couple of goals. Throw on a couple of goals. That'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, that would be a big one because, and I mean, I'm telling you, it's absolutely worth it. Like this is absolutely stellar and absolutely worth it. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been up to. I mean, but that one is, I don't even know how to explain it because the hard thing is that the pictures just don't capture what's there. Like, it's just absolutely wild. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah. And then I'll just bring you to Idaho fishing for a couple of weeks before we go to Vegas, and you might never leave. You might never leave.
That, of course. Yeah. The problem with Vince at writers retreats, like, you know, I've done Bread Loaf. You know, that's a pretty popular one in Middlebury, whatever. I did it back in '91 with like Tim O'Brien and John Irving and Amy
nice.
Hempel. Yeah, and first thing Tim O'Brien says to me, he's like, "You got any Coke?" I'm like, "Oh, fresh out, man." You know, like because he was
fresh out.
It was 1991. He was like still in his 40s or whatever. But
yeah, exactly.
But I was the type like, you know, I was just drinking beers all day and like people are wanting to get some writing done and like serious stuff and whatever. And, you know, I just couldn't. I'm like in writing school, for instance, you know, we'd go up for our residencies.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually the dean called me in and he's like, we're kind of kicking you off campus. Yeah. I'm like, why? Because he's like, because you're loud and obnoxious. You know, he's like, you're a good writer, but you know, have you thought about the, you know, there was like a.
Have you thought about alternative living situations? Yeah.
And actually, I liked it much better. So I had to stay at the Econo Lodge.
Oh.
And actually, it was much better. And everybody, like all the professors or whatever, everybody was laughing their asses off at me for like the rest of the residency, and it was dubbed the Exile Lodge from that point on. I loved it because there was a TV and I could do what I wanted. It was great, and I had my truck, so like, you know, I could come and go as I please. It was perfect.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, yeah, and you probably got more writing done off campus. Yeah,
it was much better.
I mean, well, I mean, and so, I mean, the way this retreat works is obviously there's time for writing, but like there's times when we're like, let's go into Tahoe and go to the museums and, you know, maybe get some writing prompts out of that. You know, there's some really cool art museums in the plaza there. Stuff like that. Or you can go for a hike, you can do whatever. So there's like, and there's enough space that like, if you want to hide and write, there's places to do that.
Right.
You know?
Right. I'm sure. Yeah.
So
see, my
go down and play pool.
Yeah, exactly. You know? My writing retreat begins on the 23rd of this month when I go to Italy. But the writing retreat consists of just me, myself, and I. And of course, people are welcome to come if you want to pay for your hotel room. We can get together for an aperitif at the end of the day and just discuss what we've written that day. And then, you know, if you want to, you know, maybe I should start organizing that.
Well, I mean, really, that's kind of like, it's my idea of an ideal retreat. Like there were other people were doing other things, right? They were doing research, they were talking, they were taking phone calls, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. I got my laptop and I'm going to write.
Yeah.
So I'll dinner, you know, and we can talk about it or whatever, you know, but, so because I mean, it's kind of the same thing. So, like, when I go to big conferences like Author Nation, like most of the time, the way I handle is I have a mission, right?
Right.
Like, so I have something that I want to learn or I want to get better at or whatever, and that's why I go.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm like, this year my focus is marketing, so I'm taking Facebook ads classes, whatever. And I'm like, if you want to talk to me, the hard thing in like at that type of conference, especially on the West, like I can't go anywhere without being recognized and somebody wanting to talk to me.
I'm sure.
So
yeah.
So I'm like, I couldn't even get. My friend was making fun of me so bad because I couldn't get from our car to the elevators in the parking garage without some guy stopping me and going, "You're Troy, you're the man," and I'm like, "Thanks."
Well, that's
man.
cool.
Now,
but is it mostly
I have luggage in my room?
Right? Is it indie writers or is it a mix of both?
So Author Nation is primarily indie writers. There are some people that are mixed. They're mostly, but they're like you and I. They have trad stuff. They have indie stuff. They're blending it.
Yeah. Good.
But the majority of their emphasis for most of the writers is indie, and there is a mix. There are fewer. There's still some inexperienced writers, but there are fewer of them.
Right.
And part of that is because it's Vegas and the conference is expensive. And so even once you pay for the conference, I mean, it's not outrageously expensive, not that much more than PNWA or whatever.
Right.
But Vegas is expensive. Right. So by the time you pay for your hotel and you pay for your flight and you get there and all that kind of stuff,
yeah, you're dropping $5,000.
This is not something that you're doing casually. Right. So if you're a hobbyist writer, going to Author Nation may be a great experience for you, but also understand that a lot of the discussions after hours are going to be business stuff.
Yeah.
How are you marketing your stuff? How's that working for you? What's happening here? What's happening there? Right. So, it's just real important to understand like what it is and who is actually there, type of thing. So amateur writers are going to struggle in that environment in some cases. There's some beginner classes. There's people you can talk to. There's times when the discussion is just going to get away from you because you're not even ready to. I had a gal come up to us on Monday at the vendor day. Stacy and I had a booth. We actually had some great discussions. We talked about some alternatives to Alibi for things that are coming. Good God, dropping the ball, just dropping it all over the place.
What Troy's referring to is Alibi Syndicate Press, which is a new press that I'm lucky to be involved in, but really it's being run by Troy and Stacy Smikovsky.
Smikovsky.
And I'm the editor at large. And we'll be launching in January. And we're filling a void now that Down and Out's gone. And
I think it's
there's a hunger for these noir presses now. So I'm looking forward to it.
There is. It's going to be really interesting. But anyway, but we had a gal come up and talk to us and ask us about some short stories that she had and how she could potentially publish them. And I'm a nice guy, so I had her send them to me. But part of the issue with them is they're ready for prime time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you just go, well, this isn't really a collection because they're not related. There's no theme, so we can't really relate them together. And so one of the things she asked me about was marketing. And I'm like, well, first you need something to market. Right now, you don't really have anything to market.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing is you'll encounter some people like that. They're like, they're just not quite ready. And they're attending a very professional level conference. And they hear people talking about, oh, you got to market this, got to market that. And they're like, what about that marketing thing? And I'm like, well, you need a book first, Yeah. So.
And more than one book, ideally.
Well, yeah. And I always tell people, really, until you've got 3 or 4, your marketing, you can market and you can build your reputation as an author, but you're going to struggle for a little bit. And that's just it's just the economics of the business. And some people just are not they're not prepped for the economics of the business, and they probably shouldn't be. And it's okay, like you don't have to be. But
right. Speaking of the economics of the business, how is the general attitude at the end of 2025 going into the the second quarter of the century? Like, what was the general feeling overall? How did you feel about it? Optimistic, a little not?
The feeling that I get from talking to a whole writers is there's basically two camps. There's those writers that are saying, like I am, like there's, with all the tools and all the cool stuff that we have available at our fingertips, there has never been a better time to be a writer. We have all kinds of options. We have things we can do that we could never do before. This is an incredible time to be in the publishing industry and be an author. I also understand that it's intimidating. There's lots of choices, but I mean, I'm like, you just need to choose a path and follow it, right? And you can be successful. It's okay.
Right.
But there's another camp of people that are very doom and gloom. AI is going to take our jobs.
Right.
Amazon's going to create a book machine, and they're not going to. So there's people that are very, and there's a few people who are more like me. They're kind of in the middle on AI. AI is a great tool, but I'm not going to use it to write my books. But then there's people that are all in on AI, and there are people that are 100%. I'm never going to use AI for. And so there's this interest, and all the gloom people are in this, I'm not going to use AI for anything camp. So the world is ending, right? And I'm like, you don't have to use AI to be successful. It's just another tool. Not everybody uses the same tools. So chill out.
Right.
But anyway, so I really listen to them both talk, because they're talking about the same things. Just some people are really down. Going to be the greatest opportunity I've ever had. So I think you're poison. Me personally, I'm feeling very optimistic about publishing in the future of things. I think that can enable us. People are already prolific and produce even better stuff. And really, I think it's for the majority of people, but I also understand, hesitation and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm
for sure.
I use it. I use it to help me as a tool, and boy, oh boy, has my process sped up like crazy.
Yeah,
and
it just makes everything faster.
It's almost like now it's like Vince 2.0, and it's just incredible. So, and it's helped us with partnering on certain projects like Bookblasts and our True series, and inevitably the Alibi Press.
Oh, for sure.
The Bookblasts Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Can you expand upon that a little bit? Can you off the cuff give
us
the highlights of that one?
Essentially, the highlights of that one is what you're backing is a subscription. So what you're backing is the creation of a series of stories, and basically we have topics. Each month has a theme or a topic, and we have topics until March of 2027, I think, by the time all the list of ones that we have, something like that.
Right. I can't tell you what the next topic is, but
I actually have to look it up myself sometimes. But anyway, but what's interesting, so we're putting these, we put them out every 6 weeks. We're putting out a basically a short story, one by you, one by me, that are on the theme. And then, every 3 stories that we get, then we put together a hardcover collection or a limited edition collection of all of the stories. So part of what you can get is those limited edition hardcovers. And you basically just get a subscription through, every 6 weeks you wake up and there's either a book in your mailbox or it's on your Kindle or whatever, if you've chosen digital or whatever, it just happens. So the way I tell people is if you run out of fiction next year, at least it's not our fault. We're providing you with fiction as on a pretty decent rate, and they're short stories, so you can read them quickly, on your, and hopefully if we make our goals for audiobooks, then you can listen to them on your commute or whatever the case may be. So
it's almost like we're personally writing for the reader of the Kickstarter reader. We're like personally writing for you.
Yeah.
So
this is your
because
stuff.
you're going to get it. You're going to get it first before anybody else does.
Yeah, you'll get it before anybody else.
Limited edition stuff.
Right, and in editions that nobody else is going to get. I mean, you cannot get hardcover. Well, and the way we have it set up right now, like you can't get a subscription anywhere but Kickstarter. So even when the book's released to the general public later, they release whenever we decide to release them.
Right.
And you don't get them delivered just that automated way, that automatic of like, you've automatically got it coming. So.
Right. All right. Well, it sounds very exciting to me. Not just because I'm involved with it, but like it's got my head spinning about like maybe, because Troy and I also run our own businesses, and like this is a great possibility.
I know. I'm thinking
the Kickstarter ecosystem is becoming more and more popular with readers. To me, it's become a new bookstore for serious readers and for serious collectors. Let me ask you a quick question, and this is a tangential question. Now, everybody has been freaked out with the shutdown, right? And things have been tight and tough for a lot of people. Has that, and I've noticed that like as of November 1st, a little bit before that, sales in general started slipping. Do you think that has affected a lot of book buyers and things like people are just like, I don't even want to let go of $5 right now? I
think so. And I also think like every year we see a dip in like November and December to a certain extent because Christmas is coming, and these aren't the type of summer beach read holidays.
Right.
These are the oh my god in-laws are coming holidays. So everybody's actually, they're like, remember my New Year's resolution to clean those cupboards every 6 months? Well, time to clean those cupboards. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of holidays that this is, where you're cleaning the house, you're decorating, you're doing all this. And so reading kind of seat, and it's also that, resolution was to read 50 something, and I'm at 47 and I can't another novel. I'm, or whatever the case may be. So I think we see a slowdown anyway, but I think, me personally, I think that the government shutdown and some uncertainty about finances and things like that have really put people in a position where I don't have time to read anyway, and now I really don't have any money. I have my sons in the military, and they've gotten paid each time, but each payday, of course, his command is telling him, we don't know if you're going to get paid. And so
now go out there and protect the country.
Go out there and protect the country for free. My son-in-law is in a but isn't getting paid to go show up for work. So maybe federal credit union and USAA offer no interest loans during the government navigate that, but I mean, they're still like, him and my daughter are like, I don't know how much we're going to spend until this thing's over, because they don't know when the next payday is coming. So
luckily it's over.
I think I think it's affected a lot of people, and I think we may see a surge now that it's over. We may see people go, oh yeah, okay, everything's fine, everything's going to be good.
And by the way, folks, I'm not trying to take all the credit for this. I just came up with the simple concept of Bookblast, and then I brought it to Troy, because with me it would just fade out into nothing. But I just thought, like, short reads for people who are on the go, they just don't have a whole lot of time to read. When they read in the doctor's office, they read on the train to work or the bus, they read at coffee hour, they read on their lunch break, maybe
go to bed
a few minutes before they go to bed.
And that's it. I mean, I read a lot before I go to bed. And sometimes I like having short stories, because otherwise it takes me a long time to finish whatever it is reading, before I go to bed, because I read for, I mean, if everything's normal and good, which has not been the last few months, but if everything's normal and just like easy, and 45 minutes, an hour worth of reading. But if not, I mean, and I'm exhausted, I'm like 10 minutes smacking me in the face, and I'm falling asleep, and I go to sleep. So those short fiction is great for the short fiction is because audio is like on this. I drove to Vegas, down to Vegas trip. So we listened to the audiobook on the way down and the way back. But normally, like I got 20 minutes.
Wait, before you say another word.
Yeah.
Before you say another word, were you like just a few miles out of Barstow before the drugs kicked in?
No
you know
comment.
what I'm referring to right there.
Yes, I do.
Well, the greatest opening. I didn't get it right, but the greatest opening line I think of any book of that genre. Fear and Loathing
I'd have to look up the exact line. I don't remember the exact line, but you were.
Yeah, we were just.
You
know
got
what? I subscribe to Matt Taibbi's and Walter Kern's Racket News thing, and we read a book every 2 weeks or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Give me the opening line of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
The opening line of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is, "We were somewhere around Barstow."
All right, she's ruining it the way she's talking. All right, don't talk.
Preceded by a quote from Samuel Johnson.
All right, thanks. Okay, so we were somewhere around Barstow on the edge of the desert when the drugs began to take hold.
That's funny. I love it. But yeah,
I would have preferred Kick In, but you know.
But we were coming the opposite direction. We did not go through with.
Yeah, you would have been the opposite direction.
Go through stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it's still a 10-hour drive. You know, so yeah, we listened to audiobook, which we listened to Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is hilarious. It's absolutely
funny.
right.
Where's Barstow's outside of California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on that strip.
So it's on the other side of Vegas from where we were coming from. If you're coming from LA, if we were coming from LA, the Barstow would have been about right. Yeah, that would have been about.
People probably take pictures next to the sign and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question, then I got to let you go. By the way, everybody, the link. First of all, the link to Troy and me will be below, but also the link to the Kickstarter will be below, and we strongly suggest that you take a look at it. Troy's responsible for the video and the audio to the video, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's something you couldn't have produced even a year ago, I don't think. So take a look at that. But anyway, okay, so I was having a conversation with a colleague the other day, and we both realized, it kind of hit us over the heads, that like modern publishing has only been around for like 100 years now. What we know of as modern publishing, because
what we would call modern publishing. Yeah.
Right. Before 2025, before 1925, like half the country was illiterate. And before that, like most of the country was illiterate, and just a few select people read. And then beginning with the pulps in the 20s, people started reading like crazy. And we've gone through all these different changes every decade almost, or every 20 years anyway. And now we're entering what I think is the second phase, like the second century of reading. So, without having to delve too deeply into your crystal ball, what do you see for the second century? When we're toast, when we're pulp ourselves.
Well, I it's interesting in that people have although reading and like the modern version of publishing is new, relatively so, people have always consumed stories. They just consumed them in other ways. The cowboy telling the story around the fire, the bard in Europe singing the story till someone shot him off key, or whatever, you know what I mean? But I mean, people have been consuming story for a long time. If they couldn't read, someone would read the story to them, or they would go to a play or whatever the case may be. So I think because of technology and the way things are going, I think we'll just see new ways for people to consume stories. So I think reading will continue to be a big part of that because of how pervasive it's become in our society. But I think that there will be other ways to consume stories, new ways that we probably can't even think of. Virtual reality, augmented reality, all that kind of stuff. AI generated videos, all that kind of stuff. And I think that will all become just different ways for people to consume stories, but people are not going to stop consuming stories. It's just never going to happen.
Elon Musk, he was on Rogan recently, and Rogan somehow asked him like the future of the phone, this thing that we carry around all the time. And he said probably within 5 years or something like that, all apps there'll be no such thing as apps anymore. Your phone will automatically know what you like and don't like, what ads you want to see, what you don't want to see. It'll suggest what you want to read, what you don't want to read. It'll be you won't need apps anymore. It'll be automatically suited to Troy Lambert and Troy Lambert's likes. And my phone will be completely different. Of course, you'll be able to call people or whatever, but but there'll be no, and the social media will you won't go through a third party. The social media will be, I'm not exactly sure how it'll be, but the apps themselves will probably be gone, which I think is really interesting because, good morning, Mr. Zandri. Would you like to read Lord of the Flies this week? Because you have like an hour left of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Shall we put Lord of the Flies on deck for you? Or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it'll be 100% appless. I hope nothing value broke.
No, it's my it's my Kindle.
It fell off the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't destroy this. You could kill somebody with it, though.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good plot point there somewhere.
Yeah, actually, it's like sharp.
But I mean, I don't know if we'll be 100% appless, but I think that it will be much different. But I think there's because even OpenAI is creating a social network of sorts, right? So I think there will be social.
That's probably what he's getting at.
But I think that they'll look much different than what we have now. Yeah, is what I think, which I think is necessarily a bad thing. I think social media started as fairly benign and a fairly good thing, and it has turned into something that the majority of time is not really great for any of us.
Right.
So,
it's funny because I've been experimenting. Like I've got so much fiction ready to go. Right. Like if I don't write another word, Troy, for the next year and a half, I have enough to put.
You're still good.
To give to you, to give to so and so, to give to my Bear Media, But I like to write every day because that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
But I started on a bit of speculative sci-fi, right? Because I've never.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted it to be 1984ish, like 10 years in the future, and I'm going to keep working on it, but I'm like, I'm not quite there yet. It's just, I find myself like info dumping, which is me trying to convince myself I know what I'm talking about. Like, by the way, writers, don't info dump, dramatize it, so.
That's what I found with sci-fi. That's what I found with sci-fi. So I wrote sci-fi when I was younger. And thankfully nobody ever published that shit. So
right now it's shit.
Go read it.
I tried.
The problem that I have with sci-fi, so I am one of those people, like when I write my mysteries and stuff like that, like I like to be pretty accurate in my
I think it's important,
in my portrayal of things, right? The way things actually work, as accurate as we can be. Obviously, we have to fictionalize some things because nobody's going to wait 30 days in your novel for DNA results to come back, or that type of thing. So, so the problem with science fiction is I can't be accurate because it's all guessing, and I don't know the science well enough to be that science guy. I just would have to make assumed science. I'm going to it works that way, and you got to believe me. but I think I'm more of like, I have dabbled in some dystopian type stuff, which
That's
is
what
not
this
really
is,
sci-fi,
dystopian.
but more future type things.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things that there's one that I would still like to finish at some point that I think I think it's a really good book. I think it's a great story. But it doesn't have to be tied to like a specific time, like 10 years in the
Right.
future. It can be way in the future and,
Right.
that type of thing. But I think the main thing with me is like, I like to be scientifically and rationally accurate in my fiction
Right.
rather than more of the fantasy type things. And so the
Right.
one that I'm writing that I feel like I could eventually finish is more of like, it's a climate change dystopian type thing. And I'm
Right.
like, it's a fairly likely scenario to
Yep.
happen sometime in the future if humanity survives long enough. I mean, who knows, you
Right.
know?
Right.
But
I think with me it was sometimes you want to depart a little bit from what you're doing, and so I just read Camus' The Fall,
oh
which
yeah,
I loved, and we also read 1984 again for Matt Taibbi's book club, and I'm like, I want to like 1984 meets The Fall, and I'm like, I could do this. I could do this.
you can,
But not yet. It's
Yeah.
going to take a little bit, and I'm going to do it. And it's kind of it's in that like that vein where I'm like talking to somebody whom you don't know who's there, but I'm explaining the story to them or whatever. But like it's not the like I have like my brain is so geared towards a 3-act scenario that I'm so used to, but you have to challenge yourself, and so we'll see. Maybe in a couple of years it'll come out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love doing like when I wrote Teaching Moments, it's a dual POV serial killer thriller. So it's from the point of view of the serial killer and the detective, and the plots don't cross until the end, and then you go, oh shit, that's what's going on.
That's awesome. Pick that up, everybody.
But I did not 10 years ago. I couldn't have written that. I didn't have the chops, but I had this idea. I was like, oh, this is a great idea. But I didn't have the chops and I didn't have the story well enough in my head. So it took that time for that story to kind of percolate and turn into something. And so I think that's probably what's going on with some of the dystopian type stuff that I'm like, yeah, it's there. It's just not quite ready yet. Not quite ready.
Yeah. If you find yourself, if you take nothing out of this, if you're a writer, a would-be writer watching this right now, if you find yourself info dumping like for the first 3 pages, like step back because it's not working for you.
You're not ready yet. You're not ready.
Yeah,
you don't know where it starts yet. Yeah, I just
you're just creating the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, I just edited a guy's book recently that the story started about 40% way through the book.
Yeah,
you just need to cut that first half of the book and rearrange that stuff. Thanks for telling yourself the story. We don't need to hear all that. Let's get to what's going on. So, yeah.
All right, Troy. It's been great talking to you, and I will be talking to you privately as well at some point. But
for sure. Always good to be in.
Check out this book blast. It's really cool. Maybe even this video will be up on there at somehow. I don't know, maybe, but
we'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah, we'll see. But all right, great stuff. All right, buddy.
All right, thanks, man.
Back to your house and everything else you're doing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta get it done. But anyway,
and everybody else.
All right.
Ciao, ciao.
Yeah. Take